Ready? Rolling in 3, 2, 1, and...
What's up, everyone? We're back to the only real estate podcast worth listening to. We have the Brian Force with us today. We are down a man. Matt Kelderman, unfortunately, his wife's grandmother passed away, so our condolences are out to the Kelderman family.
Indeed.
But we have a special guest, the original Ben Baker. Not senior, we got Ben Baker Jr., but everyone knows Ben Baker. How you doing?
Doing well. Glad to be here with you, distinguished gentlemen.
Perfect.
And upgrade, I think. I don't think we're down a man. I think we're up a man.
Absolutely, but I didn't want to just throw him under the bus right now. I mean, I wanted everyone to leave that in the comments about how we should vote him off the island.
Yeah. 100%.
And just replace him with Ben.
Make sure you put that in the show notes.
Absolutely.
Document that.
So we're going to talk about something that is all affecting us right now, which is the shifting real estate market. So I know I'm feeling it. And you guys feeling it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And out of everyone here, I mean, I've been in this business 12, 13 years. Ben, you've been in it a long time.
I'd hate to say a long time.
Long time.
Long time, absolutely.
So you've experienced this shift, right? I've only experienced one. I came in and really built this business during the recession, and so saw that build up, and then the low inventory, the great time.
Right.
So, how many shifts have you seen?
I'd say somewhere between probably 8, 9, maybe 10 shifts. The market headed down, the market coming back, then the market at its peak. I can remember back in 89, it was all oil and S&L. I think 90, 94, 95 was pretty much interest rate driven. I think my house at that time in Carrollton, we were looking at 9. I think we had a 9% interest rate, and folks were running for the hills because of that. And then we know what all happened, within the last decade, 2007, 8. I believe we started coming out in 2011, and then things have just been on a upward trajectory ever since.
Right.
And now I think we're starting to see a correction, and things are obviously shifting and or slowing. In the market.
Correction, or just correction towards a balanced market.
Absolutely.
Or
I see in the neighborhoods that I work. I've seen the absorption rate in the inventories go from weeks to a month. Now we're hovering around 3 to 4, and in the upper price point from about 6 to 8, which is a couple of markets that I work. Those have clearly shifted to a buyer's market.
Right.
Clearly.
And Brian, what are you guys feeling? I know we just talked about this off air about your new agents came aboard, and they're starting to take listings 2 months in, which is. Talk about production right off the gate. Right out of the gate, right? That's really good.
Yeah.
But what are you doing? Because we're all agreed that the market's shifting. What are you doing to your team to kind of walk them through this so they don't get discouraged, right? They get all hyped up that they took a listing, and then they're like, "Oh shit, it's not selling."
Yeah.
Right? I need money right now. Right. But what do I do?
I can tell you, listings are not getting easier to take for brand new agents just because the market is shifting. It's and then when they're sitting for a little while, obviously it gets a little bit frustrating. We spoke before the show, and I think that my business is probably about a quarter the size of yours, and I think we have about a quarter as many just listings sitting on the market right now. We're in a weird sort of purgatory-like situation because we're not I wouldn't say we're in a market that's crashing at all. It's correcting and it's shifting, like you said, back to a more balanced market. So what will come with that is more opportunities for buy-side transactions really, 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 really soon as that side of things becomes more opportunity on that side of things. There are tons of people that just gave up looking to find the perfect house in the last 7 years because they didn't want to be in bidding wars. They didn't want to continue to pay 12% more every year when they didn't find the perfect house this year, and it's $50,000 more expensive the next year. But we're in a weird purgatory situation right now where not everybody's caught on to the market shifting yet. So our buyer business hasn't picked up any in relation to our listings sitting on the market longer, which will happen. But we're in this sort of like toughen up your mindset purgatory right now where we know good things are going to happen, but a lot of it is about just plugging away and keeping your mindset stable while things starts to shift. If your mindset starts to shift with the market,
you're in trouble.
Then you're in trouble. Yeah.
So let's talk about how we can still get the business we deserve, right? Because we were chatting and I was talking to our team leader, Tommy Flood, earlier today. I mean, I'm sitting on 40 plus, maybe 45, either active or soon to be coming listings. I haven't had this many since the recession. I think I was sitting at 60 during that time, right? And this is not the recession.
Right.
But, they're taking longer to sell. We're asking for 3, 4, 5, 6 price corrections. And if you read the Shift book by Gary Keller, it talks about marketing to buyers and selling listings, right? Versus going after listing heavy business, which I'm a listing heavy business.
Yes.
So my mindset trying to flip it, try to get buyers is foreign to me.
Yep.
I mean, Ben, what are you, you've kind of you're a balanced business from what I know, roughly 50-50 buyer seller.
Yeah. Last year was really an anomaly in the marketplace for me. It was 50-50. But the 3 years prior, I was between 65 and 68 on the seller side.
Okay.
I believe right now there's a real opportunity to, one, gain market share on the listing side. And again, that's where most of our bread is buttered. I'm having to shift my own personal thinking right now to really go after the buyer side of the business. I think what they haven't realized, and I think I've called it a buyer frustration, and you mentioned it, Brian, over the last 5 years specifically, buyers have jumped in the marketplace, they found a great home, and they wrote an offer and didn't get it and had to do it time and time and time again. I think that created such a frustration that many of them are like, screw this. They've just decided to stay where they're at or stayed in an apartment and made the landlord richer, that kind of thing. And now the message is slowly but surely trickling out there. They haven't caught on yet. So it's incumbent upon us to start educating them that now is the time. I've tried to use my database and Facebook to let folks know that if you're seriously thinking about buying a home, there is almost no better time since 2011 than to jump in the marketplace, because they're still thinking inventories are tight, there's going to be multiple offers. Absolutely not. Now's the time for you to get in. So if you're hearing our word, listen to what we're saying. Call one of us or your agent, your trusted advisor, and get your butt in the marketplace, because there's so much opportunity for you to take full advantage now. You're not going to, in most cases, you don't have to pay 100 to 103, 105, 108% of the ask. There's a real opportunity.
Maybe you're getting it for 98% of it.
Absolutely.
Maybe 97. Maybe if you're lucky enough, you get it for 5% off, right?
Right.
So Brian, with your team and its forming and coming together, do you change your mindset on listings taken, or where you're going to go heavier on trying to hit that buyer business now, just so that your agents can generate the income they want to generate, or do you stick with the game plan of leads, listings, leverage? And say, all right, we still want to take X amount of listings every month, and then the alternate route or the kind of fallout or the extra will be the buyers that we pick up from that.
I think the biggest thing for us, some things change and some things won't. Our lead generation, our prospecting is never going to change, just like it's not for you. We are a prospecting-based team. What's going to change is probably where we allocate our marketing dollars, and that is a little bit of a mind shift that I've had to make recently, because I'll put it to you this way. There's no such thing, we all know, there's no such thing as a bad real estate market. There are changing real estate markets. Right. There are changing opportunities within real estate markets, and this is a really, 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 if you're listening now, an important thing to take note of. Whenever the market shifts back to a more neutral market from a seller's market, or a buyer-heavy market, even a buyer's market, there are so many opportunities to get people into homes that weren't there before. As the market shifts to a more buyer-stable market, educate yourselves. There are so many, just right now, there are so many different loan programs and opportunities that didn't even exist 2 or 3 years ago. Right now, one of our biggest things that we're killing it with is T-Shack, which is available here in the state of Texas. It's a down payment assistance program that we are able to get people that weren't even ever thinking about buying a home a few years ago. We're talking 23, 24-year-olds, millennials who are just geared to have a mindset of a renter's mentality because real estate's so expensive. We're getting them into homes, $250,000, $350,000 homes for less than $10,000 out of their pocket. That's huge. That's an opportunity that's only going to get better as the market stabilizes, as the market starts to shift. So the biggest thing that's changing in our business right now is that we're actually writing checks every month rather than just being a listing marketing company that only writes checks to market for listings. We're actually running ads. We are partnering with lenders. We are doing marketing for buyers to advertise new loan programs, to advertise opportunities that a lot of people, even agents, don't know about right now. And that's going to be something that becomes a huge opportunity for us in probably the next 4 or 5 years as these things really start to ramp up and more people start to get in the mindset of, okay, it's safe to buy a house again. You know, right? There's not going to be 15 offers on every house. I'm ready to go and pull the trigger now, whereas I wasn't a few years ago. The other thing that changes for us is just our ability to convert listings, right? As the market shifts, we are a prospecting-based team. Like I said, we go after expireds, canceleds every single day. I mean, our sea just got a whole bunch of more fish dropped right in it. You know what I mean? So that's why we can allocate more of our expense or allocate more of our marketing budget towards buyers now, is because listings are going to be easier for us to get than ever before. As the market shifts because of where our listings come from.
Right.
So that's kind of the changes we're making.
And one of our masterminds, I mean, Barbara Van Poel said that the crown has shifted, right? So
Right,
it's
exactly.
no longer on the seller's head; it's now on the buyer's head.
Absolutely.
So you know what we're doing is we're still listing heavy. I mean, we still reward and really celebrate listings, but we're putting in buyer incentives to our agents of really scripting. First off, on that end, rewarding or calling them out and really celebrating when we set buyer appointments, sign buyers reps, because we do everything in office. And then when they go in and show how to not have to show 30 houses. Right. So I'm actually taking some buyer clients on myself to show, you know, I'm still averaging less than 10 houses shown per offer and going from that. But it's how do we get the message out, right? Because for us, we're a prospecting based team, which means phone calls. Some emails. You know, I was talking to Adam Bailey, who was in town, you know, big time agent, and you know, he was jumping me for not having the drip campaign set up. He's like, "Come on, man, you're better than this."
You've been listening to the podcast.
Yeah, at least he's listening. So I appreciated Adam. But how do we do a better job of now getting out to the buyers? Like I'm seeing more. Maybe you guys are seeing it. Buyer seminars are coming back. We didn't have to do that over the past 3-4 years, right? You know, during the recession, we were doing that geared towards investors.
Right. Yep.
So, Ben, what are you doing to educate? I mean, you've been
I-
around the block.
Again, I feel like you know, I'm the old man on the porch. You know, get out of my yard, kind of. Mark, and my business has always been relationship. It's been my database, my network, which is my net worth, and all marketing based. What I've decided to do was basically zig while everybody's zagging. And I saw back in 20, I guess in 08, 09, I saw my partner in our Wiley office have success with it. They just increased their marketing budget, which I'm sure folks will chime in and go, Ben, that's the wrong strategy.
No, it's the right strategy.
And it might be wrong for you, but I feel it's right for me. So I've increased my touches by more than 50%. Most of my business is in far north Dallas, basically from kind of Midway Hollows north. And so I feel like I'm just, my plan is to touch more people, educate them as to here's what we do, here's the difference that I bring to the table, because many of those folks have just been used to an agent putting a sign in the yard.
Yeah.
And I've never run my business that way. I think I've now my goal is to show you the value that we bring to the table and still focus on the listings, which will ultimately create buyer opportunities. I've been a one-man wrecking crew forever. And I love that position. I am looking to bring on some support. But again, I can't do that unless I increase my listing inventory significantly. So right now, that's my push. While listings, I think, are going to be easier to get, I'm going to increase my activity to go get some of those and then just trust that the buyers will come from it.
So with that, you know, you talk about, you know, touching your database more.
Right.
I mean, I'm at fault. I don't do it enough. You know, I think Brian does a probably decent job.
I'm not probably as good as Ben, but
I suck.
I've got
No. The thing
foundational
is,
systems in place.
I'm so fortunate that my clients, and many of them are going to see this, and now you'll know my secret, they feel like I've done a fantastic job of staying in front of them. To be honest, I've done a very poor job because I touch them, snail mail, email. I mean, I've got all the anniversaries, the special dates. They get the football calendars, the 12-month schedules, different marketing pieces that I create. What they're not getting is the personal touch. They're not getting that phone call from me. And my coaches have been on me forever. And I've told them initially, it didn't feel in character. It didn't feel genuine to me. So what I started doing a couple of years ago, and we're increasing this significantly here for the remainder of 2018 and 2019, I've got another event coming on the 25th of this month because that's very genuine for me. People know I'm a jazz lover. So it's Soho Jazz. Shout out to Angie and Thomas and those guys over there. We've got Darwin Martin coming to town, and it'll be a fantastic show. And so for my clients and the folks who are in my marketing area, we're inviting them to come out. And it's going to cost me a glass of wine or a dessert, but it's helping me increase my contacts, my community. So it's things like that, I think, that are separating me from the masses. It's helping me to grow, again, my tribe even larger. And I think ultimately those things are going to prove successful for me and my business.
Well, I mean, you've been in this business, since 88, 89? When did you get in? Is that
89.
89. So you've been in it this long.
Yes.
You're doing something right in order to last, right? I mean, I've only been in it since 05, 06.
Right.
So to speak, that speaks volumes that you're still, even then, you were probably 80%, 90% referral.
Yeah. I can tell you what ultimately proved to be, I think, my biggest success was when my kids were young. They were active in sports. And I decided that at that point to move from primarily working with buyers to working with sellers, because I was coaching soccer, coaching basketball, supporting football, and it was impossible to do those things because we'd have practice on Wednesday night, Thursday night when the buyers want to get together in the evenings. We'd have games on Saturday and Sunday when the buyers want to get together on the weekend. So I shifted primarily to a seller-based business so that I'd have time with my family, which ultimately it's so important to us all. That has been the key, I think, to my success in staying in touch with those people, even though they haven't received a phone call. You will be now, okay?
We're putting them on blast.
Absolutely.
And we reading into that, the secret, and this is for you, Brian, is that you have to have children.
Yeah.
So
That's what's going to get me to the next level.
That's the next level. That's the only way you're going
to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So dogs. Does that count?
Yeah. So we have the weight loss challenge in effect.
We did.
But
it's not public knowledge.
It's not public, but it should be. It should be
Uh-oh.
public. If JD would get that video out.
Why don't we turn to the camera and do that?
Yeah. Let's put this on blast
We're already
again.
halfway through it. I think we're not. Well,
So the actual challenge was that Brian, who was feeling a little bloated or overweight or whatever you want to call it, out of shape, we put him on a challenge of that he needed to lose X amount of weight, or if he didn't, then his business joins the Good Home team. So how much, you were at 191, how much weight did you need to lose?
So I was at 193.
193, all right.
So the conversation, let's back, because there's a purpose behind this, right? And Ben wasn't here for this, so that we'll do this for his benefit.
Thank you.
The conversation was around utilizing different tools for accountability and things like that. We all talked about the things that we needed to be more accountable with, and how much easier it is to stay accountable now that we live in a society where if we choose to be, we can really be on display all the time, right? And so I made, you've known me for a long time. I've, for the most part, usually been in really good shape. It's something I've taken a lot of pride in. I've been an athlete and a boxer my entire life. But after the holidays this year, when I have my monthly little 1 month sort of relapse from my diet, I just never got back on track. And I made every excuse that normally people would make. I was working on my business. I was becoming, my business was growing. And so that was time consuming, right? I run an investment company. I run a retail company. I have a very little time in the day like all of us, right? And so over the course of, from January 1st to July 17th, I think we made this bet, I'd gained 32 pounds or so. Yeah. And for no reason. That's the biggest thing, is for no reason at all other than I got in a bad habit and a bad mindset of I was too busy to eat right and work out all the time, right?
Brian, I did see some of that weight. I didn't know what was going on, but
people are too nice to me in my life is the problem. Nobody calls me on it, right?
We're going to start.
And so,
actually, I'm not, because I want to win this bet.
So I filmed this a few weeks ago, and so we'll film it again here because we were talking about accountability. And I said, this is a great example of how we can be more accountable for ourselves. This goes on YouTube. This goes on Facebook, right? I'm going to make myself a challenge with me and Nick that I was at 193 at the time. I know myself. I know my body. I need to be at about 162 pounds. So I need to lose 31 pounds, right? And not sacrifice the things in my life that I had been doing, that I've been, gaining weight. And that's running my business. That's all that type of stuff. We have enough time in the day to do everything that we need to do, right? We have enough time to work out, eat healthy, grow businesses. I use the example all the time, dude. Elon Musk has 6 kids. If that dude's got time to do what he does, we've all got time to do whatever we need to do without any excuses. So I want to make myself accountable. So YouTube, Facebook, podcast, iTunes world, follow me. If you don't know, if you're not already friends with me, friend me, follow me. I will show you in between now and November 17th which is when this bet goes, until, I will drop from now. I'm already at 182. So I'm sorry. I'm already off to a really good start.
That's good, but that's still, you got 20 more pounds.
I still got 20 more pounds to go. But I will show you day in, day out. I'm just going to keep myself accountable. I will bring you on this journey with me. I will show you what I eat every day, how I work out every day, what I do in the office every day. I will show you how I'm going to continue to grow my business, make time to take care of myself, spend time with my family, do all the things that I need to do that you're telling yourself you don't have the time to do. And that's why your business is either suffering or your body is suffering, your relationships are suffering. Whatever bullshit excuse you're making to yourself right now about why you don't have the time to be living your highest and best life, follow me until November. I'll show you that it's possible, and then we can keep each other accountable. So we were talking about that. That's kind of the challenge that we had going, and how we're going to utilize technology and Facebook and social media to keep ourselves accountable. So that's my challenge. Follow me, and I'll start posting videos tomorrow. Follow me, and I'll show you exactly how it's done.
And if not, he's wearing the Good Home Team shirt, and he's joining us.
What size is it?
I am. This is a medium, but this didn't fit too well until a few days ago.
If it goes back up, we'll have to give him a large.
Right?
Yeah.
You're not going to take a shirt off, are you?
You know that if I fail, I'm going to go the complete opposite direction. I'm going to gain 200 pounds when I come work for you.
That's fine.
You're going to have to wheel me into the office.
Wow.
That's all right. We have a place for you.
I'm just going to be a drain on everybody.
So getting back to all your bad eating habits with this market shift, right? What are you doing with your database? I mean, we know Ben, who's an amazing referral machine, and his people love him. I mean, hell, I went to an event last week, ran into someone, and I'm like, oh, I graduated from Plano East, and they did too in the 80s.
Yeah.
And somehow Ben Baker's name always comes up. Wow. This man,
Thank
I
you.
can
Go
walk.
Panthers.
I can walk in any place and drop Ben Baker's name, and I guarantee someone knows him. So I mean, he's done a great job on that. We don't look as good as Ben, nor do we have his charisma.
That's
so how are you doing it for your referrals?
Yeah.
Because we're prospecting based, so
right.
We kind of skip that over.
Oh, 100%. And part of it is just bringing the same mindset and the same habits that we bring to the other parts of our business, being a prospecting based team. I mean, we do have pretty good foundational sphere marketing in place between email, video, direct mail, things like that. But it's funny, I struggle with the exact same thing I think that you do, and that is I will make on average probably 400 dials a day, and I really, really struggle with the 10 dials that I challenge myself to call people I already know. It's just...
Is it weird, right? Or is it not weird?
It's just never been my personality. Yeah. I mean, I talk a lot on this podcast, but the truth is, in my home life, I'm a relatively introverted guy. I don't like to talk to my sphere a whole lot. And part of that is just... It's just the same thing that I think we all tell our teams and people that we work with and stuff. I mean, this is a yes or no business. You're either doing the stuff you need to do or you're not doing it. And when we talk about this in regards to market shifts and things like that, one of the things to think about and keep in mind, and this is in all aspects of our business and lead generation and things like that. You mentioned a statistic a little earlier about how many people got out of the business in our market, which is North Texas. Last time there was a market shift, it's like 50% of people. Right. 50% of people basically quit the business. And that's already in addition to like the 80% of people that don't make it more than a couple years in this business anyway. But the market didn't drop 50%. And it's not going to drop 50% this time. That's a non-linear equation. So basically what you're saying is that the market may drop by, let's say the market drops by 10%, right? That's a pretty good market correction. But 50% of people get out of the business. That means there's still a hell of a lot of people out there buying and selling real estate and only half as many people there to help them. And so when you're doing the things that you're already doing should have a better effect because there are less players in the arena. If you're really bad at being in front of your sphere a lot, well, up until this point, that's a huge problem because a lot of people are in the arena and they're all in front of your sphere too, right? Now you have an opportunity to start doing the little things that you should have been doing all along, doing them right, and they're going to have a better effect because there's going to be less people involved in the business and you're going to stand out a little bit more. That goes for all lead generation techniques, but I think when it comes to your sphere, if you just start committing to being more in contact with your sphere on a more regular basis, the touches you make are going to stand out a lot more because there's less white noise.
I love it. I mean, and you know, what we're trying to do on ours is, you talk about introvert. When I'm introverted as it gets, right? So I'm at the party. It wears me out having to go talk to strangers, even though I can do it and force myself and probably work a room. Then I have to go home and I'm done. I'm like hungover even if I don't drink.
Exactly.
So what I'm trying to automate is you know, not that I don't want to call my past clients and my friends and everything else, but I want to put it on an automation process.
Right.
So one, I don't feel necessarily like I'm bugging them, but I stay top of mind. So we're doing it through client appreciation events, right?
Yeah.
So this Saturday, for the second year in a row, we rented out a movie theater. And last year we had a great turnout. That was our first one. I think we have an amazing turnout for this one. And then we have a staple event. It used to be our Christmas party. We changed it to a pumpkin patch.
Right.
And what it is it gives our clients an opportunity, one, where we don't just have to go make small talk.
Right.
They get to enjoy it, right? So a lot of these client appreciation events, and it sounds like even the jazz one that you're doing, they get to go and just have a night out.
Right.
Where a lot of these client events are geared towards the agents having, you know, going and chatting them up, and it feels fake to me,
100%.
right? It feels forced. Right. But I want, you know, I do everything family related, whether or not that my clients have a family or not. If they want to come, great. If not, no big deal. At least we're giving them the opportunity.
Right.
So we're having them come in, and like the pumpkin patch, there's petting zoo. There's a maze ride. There's bounce houses and everything.
Right.
So hey, we could say hi. How are you doing? How's everything going? You know, can we help you out? And then please go and go enjoy what we brought you here for.
100%.
Right. So we're looking for automation tools, and with the market shift, I think technology is going to be huge for that. And I don't want to make this about a Keller Williams talk.
Right.
But I mean, we're all with Keller Williams. Right, you know, I was just with some major EXP players and I got to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
I've seen what Coldwell Banker's doing, you know, and I think RE/MAX is trying to get in the technology game.
Yes.
But what are you guys excited with the Keller Williams technology? Because this is going to be, in my opinion, game changer.
Yeah.
Right, and with this market shift, I think the technology is going to help us stay even more relevant because we can stay in front of our database, which is. Our network is our net worth.
Absolutely.
So what are you trying to utilize technology-wise,
Well,
and not to make it Keller Williams
Right.
related, but what are you seeing down the pipeline that it really excites you?
Yeah, this is industry related. You know, from what I'm hearing and seeing, again, we'll mention, I mean, Keller Williams, we're the biggest, baddest in the world.
And we're now a technology company.
Absolutely. I think that the difference between us and them is that we're enabling our agents to truly take advantage of the tech opportunities that are there, as opposed to that being flipped. What we're seeing is the technology companies are trying to eliminate our job. And it doesn't matter if you're with Keller Williams or some of the other players in the marketplace. If you don't appreciate what the leadership of Keller Williams is doing for our industry as a whole, your head is in the sand. And I don't care if you're an Ebby agent, RE/MAX, Berkshire Hathaway, you should be applauding our leadership for what they're doing, because they're trying to support our industry and really support our livelihood, because the tech companies trying to drive us out. I think from what I'm hearing, the technology that we've got is going to make our life easier, thus make our sellers and our buyers' lives easier too. And I think that's something to, one, be applauded and get excited about. I don't know all the details. And again, I'm so old school, somebody's going to have to teach me how to use it.
So the technology,
and that's okay.
let's talk about the technology you're utilizing today.
Yes.
Right? So being old school, I mean, a lot of the agents are old school agents. So what are you liking with the technology changes that are coming or that are already out there that's helping your business, right? Again, we're talking market shift. So we want to utilize the tools that are going to continue helping us take our fair share of business, right?
Yep.
So what are you using technology-wise right now?
Well, I don't know if it's even considered technology. I use Every Door Direct a lot to to reach my audience. And right now, my audience is between my A and B clients and the neighborhoods that I service. Roughly, we're about 5,000 homes, and that helps keep my marketing costs down. Matter of fact, it's at least about a 60% savings. I use follow-up results to stay in touch with. That's kind of my 33 or 36 touch. That's Rich Laser's company out of Arizona, Mike Mendoza and all those guys.
And what does that do for you?
It at least twice a month, it touches my database. With, I think, very relevant information, not just, hey, look at me, I'm selling houses. It shows my featured properties, but there's very relevant articles that go out to educate. I think that's what we all try to bring to the table. It doesn't matter if we've got buyer business or seller business. It's incumbent upon us to educate the consumer, period. And I think I pride myself on really being the real estate economist of choice, right?
Right.
We've all heard that. I think we've got our freaking boots on the ground. Listen to us, not the guy at Dallas Morning News, not your neighbor. Sometimes I get so sick and tired of, a buyer or a seller who's bought 2 or 3 properties. They act like they're the professional, and I'm like, look, I don't tell you how to flip burgers at McDonald's. Okay, I've sold over 1,000 homes. I think I know what I'm doing. Okay, you've bought 3. Listen to me. Okay,
Yeah.
Right? I mean, sometimes it's so frustrating. But outside of that, I feel like there's my opportunity for growth right now with some of the technology that's coming out, some of the tools that maybe you guys use to help automate the system to make it easier and more efficient. Because we're all looking to reduce our marketing costs, our advertising costs. And
I'll touch on something here in a minute. I want to hear Brian's, because he's a technology nerd,
yes.
right?
Yeah, and he's gonna show me some things.
Something I'm gonna hit on your point with Every Door Direct.
Yes.
That's gonna blow you away with what's coming with the Keller Williams technology. So
Yes.
remind me about the Every Door Direct.
Got it.
But what about you, Brian? I mean, we've talked Facebook strategy. You're a freaking genius at that, in my opinion. You're utilizing probably some call technology for capturing, potential leads, et cetera.
Yep.
What are you excited about, and what are you currently using, toward your advantage that maybe someone else isn't in this shift?
So we're utilizing a lot of different things, and I think the main point to start off with is that we don't use any technology as a replacement for anything that we were already doing. And that's, I think, a mistake that a lot of business owners make, is that, because we talk about Every Door Direct and stuff, dude, I still, I should probably leverage this out. I still make my own deliveries to the post office twice a month. We still send 4,000 direct mail pieces a month to our farm areas, about 2,500 homes. So I guess about 5,000 pieces a month. We never stopped doing that. We've been doing that for years. But if you had told me 5 years ago that with one piece of add-on technology, I could drop my average cost for a home valuation lead to one of our landing pages from about $52 to about $2.36, I would have told you were crazy. But that's exactly what we do by layering technology on top of what we already do. So, for example, we have, like I said, a farm area, about 2,500 homes. We hit them with Every Door Direct Mail twice a month, right? What we also do is we pull all their information. There's plenty of national data aggregates out there that you can pull information for different areas. Also, Facebook audiences are pretty easy to do. So we'll run ads that correlate pretty much exactly to our direct mail pieces, that run to the same landing pages that are our call to actions on our mail pieces, and we just layer it. We layer it on top of there. Everybody who comes to our home valuation pages, they get about 3 or 4 other touches through different pieces of technology. That's BombBomb, right? That's Scipio. That's automated text messaging. That's automated video emails. That's all kinds of stuff, right? But none of it stands alone. It all works as a comprehensive system, so that if you live in an area that I'm trying to market to, you're seeing me everywhere all the time. And then if you click or call or whatever, now you're seeing me in a more aggressive manner, right, for the rest of your life. And you're not doing it in just one medium. It's a multi-channel.
You're like a bad STD, just following you around forever,
Exactly.
right?
Can't get rid of it.
It's multi-layered.
Yeah.
It's
What? Penicillin?
multi-channel.
Yeah, there's no medication for that.
Right.
And the reason it works so well is because we didn't start running Facebook ads as a replacement to Every Door Direct Mail, right? But I promise you, if you're just doing one or the other, you're not getting your money's worth, right? And so it's about utilizing technology to create layers on your strategies, not about creating creating completely, entirely new systems and strategies. But every piece of technology that we have works together to create kind of a comprehensive unit.
Does it talk cohesively? Like, does it talk really well to each other
this
under
is what-
one platform?
This is what I love about technology, and I know where you're going with this, so because I have very few details on what KW in general is coming out with, so I'm really excited about that. A lot of people are intimidated by technology, right? I love this stuff. I geek out on it. So we use. That's funny because I was text messaging back and forth with my brother last night about tech tools and stuff, and naming all the different stuff that connects. I think we have about 13 different pieces of technology that connects and talks to each other for basically one lead, right? My director of operations got to put them in our CRM, and then most of it is going to be connected and integrated. If not, you know how I figured out how to do all this stuff? This is why the smartest people, I'm convinced, in this world are middle schoolers, because when you ask a middle schooler something he doesn't know, what's the first thing they do?
They Google it.
They pull out their damn phone and
Yeah,
they Google it,
they
right?
Google it.
So when I wanted to get all my technology that doesn't talk to each other, how to talk to each other, I just Googled it, and you'll find all sorts. I mean, there's an entire market for software programs that all they do is link other software programs together, right? I mean, in general, you could just look at like Zapier or something like that. You can get about 5,000 different software programs that you want them to talk to each other, and you can do it for relatively. I mean, I think I spend $20 a month on Zapier, and anything that doesn't already integrate, it'll find a way to, right? That's BombBob, MailChimp, Skipio, Brivity, freaking listen, everything that we use. So yeah, it does all talk to each other. It's difficult to set up, but I promise you, I'm not a genius. I'm just a dude that knows how to type into search bars really well. That's all I know how to do. I know how to ask questions, right?
Now, let me ask you a question. How cool would it be if you took a listing or just sold a listing, or you're wanting to mail to your farm, and you could go into one system and pick out homes that are 5 years or older, and the homeowner has lived in that home 5 years or more,
Right.
that hasn't sold, right? Hasn't maybe refinanced recently, and that you could start target mailing those types of sellers and homeowners. Or if you have a buyer that's looking in a neighborhood for a 2,000 to 2,300 square foot home, one story, and you wanted to do some direct mail campaigns.
Right.
How cool would it be to have one platform that you go in and you can pick that out, and then with a click of a button, you can design your postcard, you can send it out all through one system.
I can tell you that it wouldn't make a difference for me, but my director of operations is here in the studio today. It would make her life a hell of a lot easier.
Yes, and that's where it's going, right? Because yes, my director, my guys, we've got so many different. Like if they were to leave, I'm in trouble.
Oh yeah.
So I want this all-encompassing one platform, and that's again, Keller Williams is doing it.
Yeah.
Not to bring it up and be a homer,
Right.
because I never was the KW Kool-Aid drinker.
No, you weren't.
Right.
No, I wasn't.
No.
But it excites me what's coming down the road.
Yes.
They're integrating one system where you can run Facebook ads, and it's going to tell you how the score's running and the cost and how that's doing, right? And so what it's going to do, especially during a changing market, while we stay on topic, is that it's going to make me more competitive than the Berkshire Hathaways, than the Coldwell Bankers, the Remax, whomever, the other Keller Williams agents who aren't using it correctly.
And that really is huge because, I mean, as your business grows and you utilize more tools, especially tech tools, I mean, a big portion right now of my week, and when we're still in the growth stage, is already dedicated just to system management, basically. I mean, that's just me glossy-eyed in front of the computer, making sure everything's talking to each other properly, that your costs are at the right, tracking things, making sure your money's in the right places, making sure that your lead flow is correct, making sure that there's not one little kink in the hose that's just totally screwing everything. I mean, we found out the other day that one of our bolt-on pieces of technology totally erased one of their landing page systems that we were using to run Facebook ads. Didn't announce it to us, but we had about 25 different Facebook ads that were running to a 404 error site for about a week and a half because I went out of town on my 1-year anniversary and didn't do my my lead audit that week or my system audit that week. Didn't realize it until the next week. Can't tell you how much money that cost me.
And if someone who doesn't do lead audits, because that's rare.
Yeah.
How many times is someone just wasting money like that? Facebook doesn't work.
Oh yeah.
Or-
and it'll take you a while to figure out that your lead flow's off. If you generate leads in a bunch of different ways and you're diversified in your lead gen, it might take you a while to figure out where the problem is if you don't regularly check your system. So yeah, having one totally all-encompassing, self-contained system, as your business grows, that's a godsend.
Right.
Because the only other way to do it is to leverage it out to somebody who just is paid to monitor the system. And then you're talking about a full-time job.
No, I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's absolute. I mean, I get overwhelmed with technology, and I can go Google it. Like I said, I'm going all in on YouTube this year and the remainder of next year. So I'm trying to learn how to put freaking pictures and make my videos look even better, you know, or more entertaining. And I'm like, holy shit, this is so overwhelming. Where do I start, right? And just becoming that influencer, because, you know, in today's world, what are the kids doing? You talk about a middle schooler, they're making their own media company. My 11-year-old stepdaughter, all she does, even last night we were at the Texas Rangers, you know, game, and she's Instagramming everything as a movie. And it's 100%. Like everything they're doing is that they're their own media company, and why are we not doing it? Sure. Because if they're doing it, they're gaining following, and their friends are watching. Guess what? Even us as a 35-year-old, Ben's a 36-year-old, I'm sure. You know,
absolutely.
You know, they're going to watch our stuff. They're listening to this podcast. They're watching the video that's coming out. So why are we not doing more? What's holding you back? You know, back.
Well, you know what? I'm going to speak on a couple of things. One, you talked about really before we got on camera, some of the things that are going to help you reduce your, I guess, some of your operating costs by more than $60,000. Those things are exciting me because, again, running kind of a one-man wrecking crew shop here, I'm looking at my bottom line. How can I tighten those things up? Speaking to, I think. YouTube, Instagram, some of the other platforms out there, like you, I've decided that, you know what, now it's time to really jump in. My public believes that I do a really good job on social media, and I'm like, are you kidding? I'm barely there, but that's about to change. So get ready, because here I come. I think YouTube is one. I'm really going to start utilizing Ben Baker TV. I think this is going to help. I've got a show this coming Friday. I think I told you guys with one of the Plano school board members. I've got a piece that JD and I've been discussing on a monthly piece with an influencer here in the Texas area, because I want to inform the public. Here's what's really happening. Some of it real estate related. I think that's where I'm going to bring value to the marketplace, because you know what, it's not all about. It's not all about real estate. And right now, if I sold you a home 2, 3, 4 years ago, you're not thinking of moving now, okay? So I've got to bring value some other way. And I'm doing that by being a man about town. You know, we have people call us, you know, related to so many subjects that not about real estate. They need help with this or that. And, they think that you were at the Rangers game last night. You know, I'm season ticket holder to the Mavericks, and I'm a Baylor Bear, Sic 'em Bears. You know, I'm at all those games, and now I've got a son going to Arkansas. People contact us for so many different reasons, and I want to know, hey, here are some of the top restaurants that are happening, and interview those business owners, and really push and promote other companies and other business, many of them not real estate related, because I think, like you guys, I gain strength by lifting others. That's kind of how I'm built, and I feel like that's where I'm bringing value. So I'm really excited about some of the things that we're doing that hopefully will just expose us to more and more people. Because then we can serve more and more folks.
What I'm hearing is that we're no longer just real estate realtors.
Realtors. We've been business owners, business owners forever, right?
Yeah, but that we're no longer just doing the realtoring or the real estating. It's now
right. So true.
Can we call it real estating? Is that a word?
Hashtag real estate.
Realtist.
Yeah.
Realtist. You know, it's more of again that media company, right, or that marketing company to help others. And if you put enough out there, it comes back. I mean,
absolutely.
You know, that's what we're building on ours. You know, and almost changing. You know, Brian and I are very similar. That's why I want him to join me. That's why he's not going to lose all that weight. Yeah. But you know, we have to change. Eventually, we're going to have to change from that prospecting mindset, I believe. Would you agree? I mean, phone calls. As much as I hate to say it, eventually are going to possibly die.
If you are if you're in any entrepreneurial journey right now, and you have not accepted the fact that a huge part of your efforts going forward are going to need to be proactive content creation of some form, then you've got to get on board. The debate is over. It is going to be. That's just how it is. But we are on the verge of a fundamental shift in the way that we communicate, which we've seen plenty of times in history, right? I'm not great with dates, so I'm going to probably look like an idiot here when I get my century wrong. But I'm sure there's plenty of people in the late 1800s, I'm just going to commit to late 1800s, that were like, this Alexander Graham Bell dude doesn't know what he's talking about. He's friggin' stupid. The phone is never going to be a thing. I'm just going to write letters forever.
I think that was the early 1900s.
Is it early 1900s?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Use
all right.
Pony Express.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm going to write letters for the rest of my life.
yeah.
Phones are stupid. Like, it's never going to happen. Well, I hate to say it, but we've been using phones for a while now, right? And we're not, but you're 100% right. Now we have, I know that our call pickup rates and conversion rates are down, and they'll continue to go down. They're not significantly down right now, but just straight up phone prospecting, anything you do for your business is going to be cyclical in the long term. What you do now will not always work. We are getting to an era where people are more comfortable communicating in alternative ways, and part of that is being proactive about it. People don't really communicate in a reactive way anymore. What I mean is that you don't really get a call from your friend anymore like you did 20 years ago, where they just ask how you are and you just talk about your life and day. You don't get that anymore because you're on display all the time when you proactively create content that you put out there, like going to a Rangers game and Instagramming the entire time. People don't need to call you to ask how your day was because they know you're at the Rangers game, and that's how we communicate. We communicate in a much more proactive way in this day and age rather than a reactive way, which would be phone prospecting and things like that. And so if you are not already creating content and being proactive about you putting yourself out there, especially through social media and things like that, you need to make a habit of it. And I think one of the biggest things that holds people back, I know for me it is that we're uncomfortable doing it. Like we don't really know what to do or to say. We have so much trouble coming up with like, I really should be posting more videos on Facebook to get my name and my brand and my image out there, but I don't know what to do and I don't know what to say. It's funny though, because when that's like our dumb drunk monkey brain talking. Our logical brain, if we step back and take a look at what we watch on Facebook and what we look at content creation wise, I watch the dumbest shit on Facebook every day. Like the dumbest.
But do you question those people? Like, so I sit there and I'm like, all right, if I go on Facebook Live or I do a YouTube video and I'm only talking to myself,
right?
How do you drag out a video for 15? I've seen some people drag out a video for 30, 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, how? Right? So I'm in the same boat as you, right? So we're committing to more videos, trying to do more content, but the stuff I'm thinking about that I want to promote seems boring, at least in my mind, to other people, right? That's why I fall back on the real estate investment side, because I always know that that's the most sexiest object. But what does that help me get clients for my traditional company of helping people buy and sell homes right now?
I think it's a more, I don't know, secular is not the word. That's the totally wrong word. I'm like losing my vocabulary right now. But it's more of I would say it's more of a total brand package type of thing, right? There is usually not a direct correlation using content creation and social media and things like that between I posted a video about this and people immediately called me about that same thing, right? What it really is, I mean, we've talked about this in other social media avenues, not just video creation and stuff like that, is people need to know what you do, and then they need to care about your life too, right? And so you can't just be posting all real estate stuff all the time because people will think it's boring. I work in real estate. We all do. I think it's pretty boring a lot of times, but I think about the stuff that I watch on social media. I think about the people that I follow, and a lot of it is just me watching stuff that they're posting just about their daily lives. I think they're interesting people and stuff like that. And then when I need a particular service or product or something, I immediately think about the people who are in front of me all the time on social media, even if their content isn't all about that or isn't even majoritely, that's not a word, about realtist about that. If they're doing enough content creation that is about their product or service or brand, and more creation about just interesting things about their daily lives or whatever. And like I said, it doesn't take much because I watch a lot of dumb crap on Facebook. You're gonna be top of mind. You're gonna think. I mean, it's similar to what we do with our sphere, right? We send every holiday Christmas cards to our entire sphere. It has nothing to do with real estate, but it keeps us top of mind, right. And that's the sort of same mindset you take.
You don't put in your card, "Happy Holidays. I hope you buy.
I hope you buy a house
that's what
for
I asked
Christmas."
Santa.
Yeah, exactly.
I asked Santa that you would buy a house for me.
Right.
You don't put that in there.
Oh. I hope not. I don't know. I don't type them. I don't create them, but I hope we're not doing that. But no, I mean, like we send birthday cards to our sphere, anniversary, all that type of stuff. Right. It's not real estate related. It keeps us top of mind, right? And so when you get your content creation hat on, don't always think about your brand or your product or service. You need to be informing people and you need to be promoting your brand, but it's pretty easy to remind people what you do for a living. Right. What's more important is to remind people, hey, I'm still alive, I'm here, like this is just me and my life and this is what I do. That keeps you more top of mind than sitting down on the couch and shooting a video about down payment assistance programs once a week for.
Well, I mean, you're 100% right. In fact, I have business partners that we only known and met because of Facebook.
Oh,
I mean, Dave Hale and Jamie Waite, who, Jamie owns AC Hero, and we got into some storage business ventures with him. But, they post really nothing, it's all work related, but it's different. It's more business topics.
100%.
So you're 100% right. I look at it from a sense of, should I post this or can I go live? Which I did a live video yesterday going through a house for an out-of-state client,
right? And
got some engagement. But what's stopping you, Ben?
Well, I can tell you, I so wanted to jump in on this because I think that sometimes we now need to get out of our own way. I've only done a Facebook Live video 3 times, and the first one was so well. I guess it was just there was a lot of engagement because I was standing on a bluff in Coronado Island or something. Maybe we're outside San Diego in La Jolla, I think. It was beautiful. $1 million properties everywhere, the bluff there. But my plan now is to start doing more of them because I'm seeing the engagement. I think it doesn't matter if we've got an audience of 1 or 200. Somebody's going to derive a benefit from that, and I think I need to keep that in mind because, again, how do you eat the elephant? It's one bite at a time. How are we going to continue to grow our companies to where we want? One satisfied customer at a time. And I'm like, do not lose sight of that. That's how I'm going to grow my business. And right now, again, I don't have the teams that you guys have. I'm looking forward to adding 1 or 2 key teammates. Hopefully that'll happen over the next 2, 3, 4 months. We're looking for the right one. So if you're out there, contact me. Come find me.
Is that attraction-based marketing?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're looking forward to getting into business with you. But I've already forgotten the question that you asked me now.
Well, let's put this out there because I like to make bets. I like to make bets with other people that don't involve me. Let's once we get this out there and aired, right? Which JD does a good job of turning it around. Yeah. Other than the video that Force needs to get out there, right, JD?
I think that's only 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks, a little late. Yeah, he's going to be on the team anyway by the time that comes out. Let's make this bet or deal that by the time this comes out there, everyone starts tagging and commenting on this. That Ben Baker needs to go live.
Ooh, I like that.
I'll win that bet. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to go live in the next day, 2 or 3.
Let's make a bet that he needs to go live weekly, once a week.
I like that.
Okay. All right, I like it.
And put some topics out there.
I'll meet the challenge.
Let's do it. Let's put some topics out there.
Beat it and exceed it. How about that?
Do it. Let's do it. Right? I love it. I mean, so put some topics down below, because you're going to see this probably on Facebook.
Yeah, what should Ben? Yeah, give Ben cues and topics.
Send topics.
What do you want to see Ben do live?
Right.
Doesn't have to be real estate related.
Here's the thing. What people don't know is he's an amazing basketball and football player. So I would want to see him, put those pads back on.
Oh my goodness.
And go run some routes.
Oh my goodness.
Because Ben was an amazing wide receiver for the Baylor Bears.
Sick 'em Bears. Right now, I'd be afraid to even run a 20 or 40-yard dash without pulling up. My hamstring. But enough of that.
Preseason has started, so I think the preseason for Ben to get on video is we'll show him warming up live in his old Baylor Bear uniform and pad and helmet.
That's crazy.
So I think if we get let's get 100 shares, and I bet you we can get Ben on doing that.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, 100 shares. That's all it is.
We got to make it legit. There's got to be an element of risk. So if we get 100 shares, we'll get Ben out there, but we'll also get somebody to play free safety, and it'll be a full contact. It'll be a full contact interaction.
All right. So Scott Schuler, we all know Scott Schuler. It's so funny it was probably a number of years ago now, but Scott's a young kid from A&M. But he's like, Ben, I know you're a big time athlete, man. I bet I can take you. I know I can take you. I can take you in the 40-yard dash. And I was like, Scott, whatever, man. I just blew him off. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, man, I'll kick your ass.
So
Okay.
100 shares, we put Ben in a 100-yard dash with Scott.
100's too far, man. Let's make it 40.
We'll do 40.
Yeah, 40
All
yard
right, y'all
dash.
be gassed by then.
Yeah. But again, remember, I'm closer to 60, okay, than he is to 40
Okay.
or 45.
So,
Okay,
so
keep
Scott
that
said,
in
I'm
mind.
sure Scott just said challenge accepted.
Yeah.
We're going to accept that challenge for Scott. So, but that's what people want to see, right? So that's the whole point of this podcast is not to have it. This is not scripted. Right. We just came up with what are we dealing with in our businesses, and people want to watch this because it's real, right? The same thing that in your network, they want to see what's going on. They want to see those funny videos like, I almost succumbed. There was that Kiki Dam challenge. I almost did it.
You didn't do it, did
I
you?
did not do it. Ooh. But my stepdaughter was trying to get me to do it. And my office manager was trying to get me to do it after they saw that damn dentist go apeshit viral, right? And so, but that's what people want to see.
Right.
And they want to see the realness, right? I mean, I can talk business all day long.
Right.
I could bore some people on this podcast of we could talk hours and hours and hours of just how to make money in this business or multiple businesses and having multiple streams of income.
Yep.
But that's going to bore 90% of the people out there. They want to see us do that Kiki challenge or whatever it is. Right? So I've been practicing just in case.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're a little deep into that bit though. I think you got to wait for the next thing.
Yeah.
Give it 2 weeks. There'll be another challenge out. I think I did the ALS challenge a little late.
I did mine a little late
people
too.
made
I
fun
did
of me.
mine really late.
I did
See,
mine
I
last
don't
week.
really even know what Kiki is about. So I'm already late on the Kiki challenge.
Yeah, I mean, you're not watching enough YouTube videos with
no, I'm
Brian and
not.
I. I mean,
Exactly.
you're actually making your calls
Right.
where
Not
we're over
just
there
screwing
watching
around.
Facebook videos.
I will be. I will
be.
be now.
So I think on that note, I think we're probably good to wrap this up. What do you guys think? What do you want to
I want to ask one more question to both of you because we have, we always have a pretty broad spectrum in our listening audience. And so going back to the market shift, right? Because this is the big topic. Everybody's thinking about, talking about, whatever. If you're not running and let's just be honest, most of the people listening, because most of the industry is an 80-20 industry, that 80%, if you're not running a consistent, predictable, stable business as it is right now, knowing that we're going into a market shift, right? What is your advice? Let's say I'm a brand new agent. Let's just say I'm an agent that is on that real estate roller coaster where I get paid some months, I don't get paid some months, and I'm always struggling to find that next deal. How do I not just keep my business going? What are my opportunities to grow my business as the market shifts?
I'm very simple here. Again, I would tell all the new agents who visit me on a daily basis here at Dallas Preston Road, it's all about your database and your network. If you're not adding 1 to 2 to 5 people each and every day, and sometimes you got to step outside your comfort zone because most people think that I'm Mr. KW, but believe it or not, like you, Nick, if I'm out in the public, I tend to kick back and people watch a lot. Not really an introvert, but I'm not as big an extrovert as people believe. But that's my challenge right now is constantly growing my audience, and I need to be adding 1, 2, 3 key players each and every day. How do you do that? Most of you guys do it by getting on the phone. I feel like sometimes I've got to get out in the public and now sometimes open my mouth. Okay, and not be bashful. You can't be a secret agent anymore, especially in this changing market. So again, my events help, and I think just being a little more present on social media, I'm hoping that'll also, be a game changer for me.
100%. So, I mean, as a brand new agent, I mean, I kind of go back to when I went full time in the business in 2007, right? I didn't know that the market was going bad.
Right.
Right? So you coming into it as brand new, more than likely you are getting in right now because you're hearing everyone talk about how amazing it is and it's easy to make a ton of money. And so you're going to be quickly disappointed, but at the same time, the basics, right? So open houses, if we're shifting, which we are, listing business is still going to work. My business is still going to work once we find that special little tweak with making sure we're ahead of the curve with pricing. It's back to selling 20 plus houses a month. We have a horrible August and we're fixing that. So it's open houses, right? And I would do as many open houses as possible. And maybe the under $300,000 price point where these odds are that there's a higher percentage of those people coming through are probably less likely to have a real estate agent. During those open houses, I would be filming videos, and I would be putting and also going live of walking through that open house, because one, eventually you're gonna in your network, if you do enough of those, we're programmed in our brain when we start seeing that stuff. It's the same thing we've talked about. Whether you're listening to this podcast or radio station or you see someone from the news, you automatically elevate that person as more of that expert.
Yep.
If you do enough videos and go live enough, and just show the open houses and talk about that house, eventually, after I guarantee you, probably after 30 days of that, your network is going to think that you're the expert.
Agree.
And they're not going to remember or know that you've only been doing it. You've only had your license for 45 days.
Right.
Exactly.
Right? So open house. It's free.
Right.
As long as you join a great brokerage, whether it's a Keller Williams or RE/MAX or whomever, make sure that they have the listing market share, because I guarantee you that the bigger agents aren't doing open houses.
Yeah.
Go and do their open houses, live it, Facebook it, etc.
Yep.
So what's your thoughts?
Well, let me chime in briefly, because that reminded me, Nick, when I first got into this business, Walter Sanford was does that mean we're done? Is that a smoke alarm? Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Walter Sanford was the top real estate agent in the country, and I think he was the first one to adopt a team model, and that was probably late 80s, definitely by the early 90s. I think he was the first one agent to sell over 100 homes, which was just unheard of, and we know how crazy that is even today when the average agent only sells 5 or 6 homes in a year. But Walter said something that's it stuck with me almost 30 years in this business now. He said, it's incumbent upon us to be the real estate celebrities in our community. And I've always taken that to mean that, when people think of real estate, it's Ben Baker, it's Nick Good, it's Force. I believe that today it's even more important than ever before that when they think of real estate, they think of us. How are we going to get that message out? And I think to your point, if it's hosting open houses, not just on the weekend. One of your team members contacted me last week and did an open house on a Wednesday and had some decent traffic. He thought that might have found a buyer for my listing. Did not happen, but that's okay. But I think the point is, don't be afraid to get out there on a Monday. There's folks looking on a Monday. They're not just looking on Saturday and Sunday. How else are we going to reach the public? We used to do a challenge back before Bold took off, called Extreme Productivity. Our assignment was to go to the mall and meet people at the mall. Yeah. I wasn't comfortable doing that, but it worked. People picked up leads all day, every day, and sold buyers and sellers that way. So I think today we're going to have to get out of our way, okay, and put ourselves out there. Don't be bashful. I mean, most of us, even if it's not your personality to be outgoing, extrovert, in order to win in today's market, we can't be bashful, man. We got to get out there and get it.
And it's not my personality, right? I mean, like this is, even this, I mean, going live, I'm like, oh, shit. Right. Like, no, thank you. But, I mean, but we have, I have payroll to hit. I have a family that expects me to bring home money. I don't want to, I didn't want this business to fail. And so what do? We step up and get in our outside our comfort zone. And I was talking to someone, whether it was yesterday, maybe it was Adam Bailey, and we talked about, agents failing in this business. Right. And he said, it's just absolutely crazy. Maybe it was him, maybe it was someone else. But, every day there's someone looking to buy or sell. I guarantee you in our neighborhood right now, wherever we live, there's someone within that mile radius that is either thinking about buying or selling within the next 90 days or less, or knows somebody. Yep. So why are we giving up so easily in this industry With the failure rate in the first 2 years, the statistics all vary. We've talked about it, I think, on the first show, but 90+%.
Oh yeah.
But all you have to do is get it out there.
Well, that's the big thing for a lot of people, and that's kind of why I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this. Is that we're going to get a ton of attention, I can already tell you, on this episode because we're talking about the market shift.
Well,
because,
and Ben Baker's here.
And I mean, aside from the fact that this is going to be our highest rated show ever,
Yeah,
right,
because
whatever.
of our guests. People love talking about the market shift, and that infuriates me to a point as somebody who was a coach like you were for a long time and is still and was in leadership, because it's, for the most people, the wrong thing to focus on. And I don't mean this to sound big-headed in any way at all. I think the three people sitting here have a big right to worry about the market shift because we run stable businesses that will be affected by the numbers of a shifting market. But the reality is, if we're talking the 80% and the 20% in this industry, the 80% are not running stable enough businesses that a market shift should change anything that they're doing. Really, stop blaming the market and worrying about a market shift and start worrying about the things that you already should be doing. If you are not running a stable business, or you're not hitting your goals, or you're not where you need to be, or on your way to where you need to be, or where you want to be, if you're not even close to what you put in your business plan last October, it's now August, make sure that you wake up every day and call 300 people. And when you're done doing that, if you don't already have a listing appointment, pull up the expireds from that day, drive to their house, and knock on their freaking door. We hold open houses from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. on weekdays, and they're good. There's opportunity out there in every market all the time. And if you haven't taken advantage of a really good market, don't blame it when it shifts on you and then blame the market because it's bad now because you weren't doing the things and you're still not doing the things that you need to be doing. It's not the market that's shifting. It's your mindset that needs to shift. It's your habits that need to shift. If I ask Nick Good, we're going to have 25% fewer closed home sales next year. But 50% of real estate agents in the state of Texas aren't going to renew their licenses when they come due. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
That's, of course, absolutely. Right. So stop
that's
worrying.
Actually a win.
That's a huge win
for me.
Net, that's good. That's
yes.
a positive, right? Stop worrying about the market shift and start attacking it, because you got to understand that if the market shifts, there's going to be a hell of a lot fewer competition or competing realtors out there. And there's going to still be people buying and selling homes.
Let me steal this thunder. Let me steal it real quick. Right? And so let's go back to the original question of what to do with a new agent. Join my team, join your team, join Ben Baker's team, because he's looking for somebody. Right. So call him, but call me first. Right. Join the team, because we have it there. It's already in place.
The business is built.
Right. The business is there. So what I'm seeing, and this is something that again, I keep bringing up Adam Bailey. He's with a different brokerage, but that's the cool thing about collaboration, right? Is we were talking about, his opinion of real estate teams, and my opinion, are kind of similar but different. EXP is a network and a revenue share, kind of downline driven model, and he thinks that the team model needs to be there. But it's a stepping stone for an agent to then go and build their downline, which is the EXP model. Mm-hmm. But what we agree upon is every agent should join a team, and the team is becoming the new brokerage model of coming in, and the brokerage model is now going to support the teams.
Right.
Join a team. I mean, Ben, you've been doing it long enough to build your database that now you're wanting to start that team rather than having to come and merge on with another. Right. But it's not been beneath you to even consider that, because we've talked about what that would look like. Right. Because at the end of the day, that it takes resources and or listings to do the open houses and or the systems or the dialer or the how to get the leads and to do it. So join the team first is actually, I'm going to change my answer. Join the team and then do open houses.
And I'd piggyback that. And if you didn't join the team, at least be learning based. Listen to this. Get involved with your market center. Go to trainings. I think the numbers are probably closer to 65% of the agents who are currently in the market have not experienced the shift. They weren't here in 2009, 2010, early 2011 when we started coming out of this thing. So right now, I think they're going to be running for the hills. You mentioned collaboration. I'm almost offended. I had a mastermind a couple of weeks ago, and I've got to give shouts out to a number of agents. There was a top Coldwell Banker agent in Plano. Hopefully Mark Bradford doesn't mind me mentioning his name, but I really respect Mark because he's only been in the business 2, maybe headed 2 or 3 years. Learning based, that guy has an open mind. I had a number of other agents who for a reason or another couldn't make it, but they were open-minded to sit down and talk about, let's chop it up. What's going on? What are you experiencing? I've had some old school agents that were like, I know everything, and I'm like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? What we know about this company, the top 10% of the agents in this business and Keller Williams who make all the money attend more trainings than anybody. We're all going to be in Austin next week, soaking up all the training and knowledge we possibly can. So if I reach out to you, trust me, I'm not always trying to recruit you to my firm. Okay, sometimes I want to hear as an industry leader what's working for you, what's not. Now, again, some of the independent companies out there, it's like, hey, this is mine, you go get yours. And at Keller Williams, we know by sharing everything we got, we all grow together. Normally, less than 2% of the hearers of your word will do anything about it. So I don't mind giving you all my cookies, because for the most part, you're not going to eat them.
Exactly.
There's plenty to go around.
There's plenty. So again, if I reach out, let's talk about it. I've appreciated you guys inviting me here today, just to hear what you're doing. We learned so much, even off the camera, about how to grow your business, how to be more efficient, how to use some of the tools that are out there to grow our business. So I thank you very much.
Absolutely. No, thanks for joining us. And next week we'll have the Kelderman back. So again, if reach out to Kelderman and ask him to have him send you that Barry picture we keep talking about. He loves Barry.
Sure you do that.
Yeah, he loves Barry. We'd let Ben on that, and Ben was like, oh man, Kelderman and Barry go hand in hand. Yeah. So we appreciate you listening. Subscribe to this. We're eventually going to get this out on iTunes and Stitcher and all the true podcasting ways. But for now, we subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's our man JD with Mcleodcast. We appreciate him having us here. And if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you're needing video or podcasting or audio or photos, give him a call. This dude is freaking amazing. So give him you hook him up. Comment on this. Comment on Facebook. We need 100 shares for Ben and Scott to race. Let's not forget about that. So I'm gonna hit all my people up and share that. Comment, like it, give me some hearts, and then let's start going. Let's do some more lives.
I love it.
All right, thanks
again,
Brian
Jared.
Force, Ben Baker. I'm Nick Good. Join us next week. I'm sure we'll be talking more real estate.